and that's why I get when I ask my wife for help. Hi guys, this is Hohem iSteady X, and as you can see, this is half the size of a regular gimbal, the one I've used before. It's half the price because this is only about £70, depending on what promotions you're gonna find online. Now, previously I've been using DJI Osmo Mobile too, and just look at the difference in size. First of all, I'll be very honest with you, for a couple of minutes I was slightly confused trying to figure out how to actually open this thing and set into desired position. The confusion was mostly thanks to individual locks present on every axis of this gimbal, which kind of left me scratching my head for a bit. Now it's a second nature, so I can open this up and make it ready for shooting within moments. Now this is a balancing gimbal, which means that you'll have to lock your phone into a clamp, more or less in a middle, and hope that motors will take over and stabilize the footage for you. The clamp itself will latch to pretty much any phone, providing the buttons aren't in the way. On my Xiaomi Mi 9 I've noticed that this clamp kind of obscures the power button, and if you're not careful enough it would accidentally turn off the phone. Not ideal, so if you take extra care you'll be just fine. Unlike on DJI Osmo Mobile 2, the balancing system is actually quite forgiving, so you don't have to be precise. Motors are strong enough to balance the phone and keep it in a neutral position. And if you're done shooting stabilized video, you can half fold the gimbal and turn it into selfie stick as well for those extra couple of inches to take that perfect selfie. So what exactly that £70 gets you? First of all, this is a fully featured gimbal, which means 3-axis control, Bluetooth connectivity, and a set of controls on the gimbal itself. Sadly, it doesn't come with USB-A port for charging your phone while you're shooting. However, it's forgivable, especially that it is equipped with USB Type-C port for charging. Unfortunately, this is not a PD interface. There is a joystick to control all axes, 2 buttons to customize the gimbal controls, like flipping it over or just starting and stopping the recording, and a slider for zooming in and out, which also doubles as a focus control. That's quite clever. This unwieldy design comes with a significant advantage over DJI Osmo 2, as I can finally use wide lens in order to shoot the videos. Previously I would have half of my gimbal in frame, but thanks to iSteady X design I only get a gimbal in frame when I over rotate, which is also possible. You can use this gimbal on its own without supporting app, so you will be able to take advantage of the default app in your phone to shoot the videos or take pictures. You'll also have basic access to controls, so you'll be still able to pan and tilt your camera or just start video recording and change the orientation. But if you do want to take advantage of all features, you'll have to download the app Hohem Pro. Unfortunately, at the first look, looks like the app itself it's troubled by negative reviews. Now, the reviews mention poor connectivity and some bugs, which personally I didn't experience, even though I've used the gimbal itself on my 2 phones, Pixel 3 and Xiaomi Mi 9. But there are a couple of things that I actually would like to talk about. First, the biggest issue of the app is the limit on resolution. Xiaomi Mi 9 comes with 4K resolution and 60 frames per second video shooting mode. Unfortunately, I'm unable to take advantage of this because the app imposes a lock of 30 frames per second and there is no way of changing it. Going into the settings, I also discovered that on my Pixel 3 device, I was able to select different camera lenses to shoot my videos. That option, however, wasn't present when I was using Xiaomi Mi 9, and I'm not 100% sure as both phones were on the same Android version. Another thing that could actually improve is horizon calibration. Now, you can change the offset of the horizon, however, the option is clunky and you're pretty much sacrificing the tilt and pan control in your gimbal. That implementation is so much better on DJI. I hope that's going to be taken in consideration with the next app update. Now, lastly, I would like to talk about moments. Those are those cool presets that you can use to create those fancy videos, but soon enough the novelty wears off and you'll face the reality. Those moments lacking of settings or customizations, there's only a couple of options you can change, and they all come with burned-in audio track, which means you are sacrificing the audio recording controls on your videos. So you know probably the weakest points of the app by now, so let's talk about some positives for a change. First of all, you've got gesture control, which is awesome. There are 2 gestures which you can use to start recording and face tracking at the same time. This means I can simply just take the gimbal away from me, put it on the stand and trigger the recording myself without asking anyone to point the gimbal at me and start the recording. It's very helpful. Speaking of tracking, you can do it in 2 ways. Face tracking, which is quite good. However, I only wish it was slightly faster so your face would always be in the center of the frame. There's also object tracking, so you can select any object and start tracking it. This tracking is actually slightly better than the DJI Osmo 2 as it has greater range. However, once you lose the track, you get about 50% chances to get it back, something that probably could be worked on. There are also controls for time lapses, hyperlapses and panoramas, but I wish they would add options to use photospheres because those are really cool, and automatic stitching is brilliant if you want to share the actual VR feel of the spot. So what is it like in use? The gimbal is responsive and follows your wrist movements. You can also lock individual axes if you want to change different way the gimbal behaves. I'll leave you with a couple of scenes I've shot using this gimbal. Apart from really accessible price, the biggest advantage of this gimbal is the size, and I can clearly imagine myself going traveling with this because it fits inside of your pocket. I no longer have to take a separate backpack or bag to carry a gimbal, which is awesome. That providing I'll get to go places and travel again once the pandemic is over. I would like to thank Hohem for sending this for the review, and in the description of this video, as usual, you're going to find a link where you can get one for yourself if you're interested. As for now guys, I'm going to close this video with my usual, you know how YouTube works and how to share, like and subscribe, etc. But if you want to follow me on social media, you'll always receive a fresh and ready to be served notifications each time I post something on YouTube or on my website. That's the best way to keep in touch, so I would strongly recommend you pick one of your choice and follow me there. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.